We'll see. Yeah, it does just take a couple minutes when people filter in.
Okay.
Hi, Mr. Beach.
Oh my goodness, it's Gina.
It's me. How are you?
I'm all right. It's wonderful to see you.
You too.
I forgot that you were teaching there.
Yes, here I am.
Yeah, Beth and Pamela, Gina was one of our wonderful, just like Hannah, was one of our wonderful Model UN delegates.
Oh my gosh,
wonderful.
wow.
Yeah, superstars, superstars. Yes. And then you came back to Rochester, Gina.
Yes, yes.
Have you been there, what, a couple of years now?
About two.
Two, yes, yes. How's it going?
Good, good.
You have a good class? You have a
Not
good
too many
class, I
today,
hope.
but yeah. Do you know him too? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I think we have the parents of one of your past students.
Probably.
Okay. What was her name?
Hannah? Hannah, how many people are we expecting, do you know?
Not sure. I mean, if you want, we can get started in a couple minutes, and if people hop in, they
Okay.
hop
So
in when they
Can
do.
they see our screen?
Yes, or well, I can see your screen. Ask everybody
Yes,
else.
please do.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get started in a minute. So feel free to go whenever.
So Gina, what level are you teaching there?
The advanced class.
Advanced level. So these are students who might be ready soon to come to MCC.
Yes.
Great.
We have
Great.
two actually who are planning to next year. So
Okay.
Good.
I heard you might be retiring soon.
Yeah, well, it's no longer might be. It's will be. I'll be here until the end of June, Gina.
Okay.
But I'm not going anywhere, so hopefully we'll be in touch, okay?
Yes. Congratulations.
I told Shirley and the Geist people that I'm going to come back and haunt them. I'm going to I'm going to do volunteer stuff. So
Yes.
because Shirley's now the only Mod UN professor left. Yeah, I know. She's not too mad at us, but great memories of that experience. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot, Gina, what country did we represent when you were?
Senegal.
Senegal, yes. And were you on the team together, Hannah and Gina? No.
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 Were you there before me or after? Before?
Yeah.
I was 25.
I think that would be nice.
And I must have been 28,
Yeah. What country?
2019.
What country did we represent?
I did Cuba.
Ah, yes, yes.
Yeah.
That was great. Yes.
Yeah, so because I was the second to last year before it
Yes.
stopped because of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because last year you guys couldn't do it. So I remember I came into the class beforehand and
Yes.
it was just decided China can't come, like the actual delegates from
Oh,
China.
yes. Right.
And then
right.
all of a sudden the world shut down.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yes. I remember our meeting with the Cuban delegation. Remember that? There's this real picture, and in the back is this big picture of Fidel Castro.
Castro.
Wonderful.
Yes. Yeah, it was very fun to do that.
They were wonderful people. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If you guys want to get started now, we can. There's a couple more classes popped in.
Okay.
So, well, I'll introduce you guys. So, hello, everyone. This is Don Beach, Pamela, I don't know how to say your last name, and then Beth Kroll. And they're going to be talking about applying to MCC's ESL program and all the requirements and all that. So if you guys have questions, please speak up. If not, you can always type in the chat as well. So the floor is yours.
Okay. I know a lot of you will have questions. Can they hear me? Anna? Okay. I know a lot of you will have questions, and we're glad to help you answer some of those questions. But Pamela's prepared a nice slide presentation for us, And so we're going to kind of go through things. And maybe if you could save your questions till we finish, and then we'll be able to answer as much as we can, okay? How's that? Okay. So of course, the first step in trying to be a student MCC is to fill out the application. But before that, usually, do you have a slide on testing, Pam? Yeah, we have a slide on testing. Before we actually talk about the application, the first step is normally for us to work with students on taking a placement test. And our wonderful assistant, Beth, who's with us this morning, usually takes care of much of that. You can do the application online, and some of us working at MCC, Pamela and I, and another counselor can help you through that. But we also want you to take the placement test so that we can see what your level is with English, because we have to have a certain level of English at MCC in order for you to be successful at the college. So it's really in your best interest for us to have a sense of your English level. So Beth, can you say something a little bit about how you arrange that testing with the students?
Hi. Yeah, so the first thing we do, you would just reach out to our office, and our contact information is down in the bottom right-hand part of this slide here. And you'll just reach out to our office. Let us know when you're interested in taking the placement test. If you don't have an MCC student ID number yet, if you've never taken the placement test before at MCC, we will just have to gather some basic information so that our admissions office can set up a student record for you. And then once we have your student record set up with an MCC student ID number, I can add test permission in, and then I'll send you the link and tell you how to schedule your test, and we'll give you some practice materials. You're already practicing now, but we'll give you some extra practice material too. And then you'll take the placement test. They're doing most of the testing online right now, but they do have some availability for on-campus testing as needed. So if there is an issue with technology or anything on Tuesdays and Thursdays right now, you can schedule an on-campus exam if you need to. And then they'll refer you back to our office after your placement test, and then we'll help you through the rest of your steps and in the process of getting started at MCC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as Beth said, after you take the test, she'll contact you to let you know who you can talk to in the Global Education office, and we can help you walk through the application. For the MCC application, it's actually not a very difficult one, but we like to make sure that we walk with students through that to make sure everything is clear. The one thing that you do have to provide MCC is a copy of your high school, your secondary school transcript and diploma, especially your diploma. The college must have something that shows that you did graduate from high school or secondary school in your native country if you received your degree in your native country, which most of you, I think, have already done. Some people did not do their degree in their native country, and so they've been working on what we call high school equivalency here in New York State. And I guess, Hannah, do you have a program there at Oasis for high school equivalency?
Yes, we do.
Yes. Okay. So you can work on your high school diploma here if you didn't graduate from high school in your native country. And if your high school diploma is in your native language, which is not English, then we do have to have it translated. And we do have a list of translators in Rochester who can help you get that translated very quickly and very, very nicely. Also, if you have a list of the courses you took, which is called a transcript, that is sometimes helpful in having too, but the most important is something that shows you graduated, your diploma or your certificate. Some of you come from countries where there is no transcript, but you have a national examination to take to pass, and if you pass, you're considered a high school graduate. So that's fine too, anything that indicates you completed high school. So that's really, really important. If you don't have it, but you can get it from your native country, from someone who still lives there, that's fine too. It's just that you will need that for sure. After you take the test, one of us in the office to help you take the next steps with the application. If your score is high enough, now sometimes the first time you take the math, or the math and the English will be required, but the English is the most important for admissions. Sometimes your score won't be high enough the first time, and Beth can give you permission to retake that test within a period of time. I don't know exactly how much time now, Beth. Is it a couple of months or maybe even less than that?
Yeah, it's back to 2 weeks between tests. But they are, after 2 attempts, they will probably want to make sure that some more preparation time has gone in, but it's at least a 2-week waiting period. And then we can work with the testing office to request a retest.
And as Beth said, she will send you review questions, sample questions for the test, so you can see what the test is going to be like. And then usually we also want you to take a basic math test, which tests your basic math skills and maybe some algebra skills if you have those. So that's important too, but English is the most important. So work hard on your English at Oasis, that's important. Okay. If you complete the application and you have a diploma and you got a high enough score on the test to be able to take one of our English courses, then you will get an acceptance letter from the admissions office saying you've been accepted by the college and can study there. And Beth will help you arrange with one of us a time to set up an appointment to work on your schedule for the next semester. And you can see the kinds of information Beth will need on this slide. It says your name, your MCC ID, which you will know based on your testing situation. Days of the week and times you're available, phone number, okay. And then let her know that you're ready to register. And one of the counselors in the office, either Pamela or another counselor who's helping us out is Carly, and she will be able to help you. And one of those people can set up an appointment with you. We're making most of our appointments by phone now. If there comes a time next year, which there probably will, when you can all be back on campus in person, then you can come to the campus and we'll meet with you in person. And again, Beth can set up those appointments for you. Pam, was there anything else that you wanted to add about up to this point that I may have forgotten?
No, it's good. And then we'll have time for questions.
Sure,
There's
yeah.
one thing,
Okay.
just one thing I wanted to add, if that's okay.
Sure.
When you receive your acceptance email, in the email, they will probably include a phone number for our advising office, because that's a general email that goes to all students. But it would be better if we could help you register for classes. So instead of contacting the advising office, if you would contact the Global Education and International Services Office, then we can have our advisors with experience with advising the ESL students. That would be preferred. So I just wanted to throw that in there because I know their general email does include the advising contact info.
That's very important, Beth. Thank you. You're going to have a much easier time getting used to MCC if you get help from an ESOL advisor. So that's great. That's great. Thanks. Pam, I guess we can go to the next slide.
Okay.
Okay, some of these numbers are kind of scary because you don't pay to go in the door at Oasis. Hannah doesn't take your money, or Queen Lou doesn't take your money at the door. But MCC, unfortunately, there are no people at the door, but it does cost money to study at MCC. The cost of coming to school is called tuition. And the tuition per semester you can see for New York State residents, that means individuals who have been in the state living here for at least a year, and you will have to show proof of that the first time you study. You will have to have usually a copy of your green card or your I-94 that has a date that says that you have been living here for at least a year before school begins. If you're a citizen already, then that's fine. And then you'll also have to show something that shows that you've been living in New York State for a year, something like a driver's license, a permit, a New York State ID, maybe a lease with your name on it, an apartment lease with your name on it, showing a date that's at least a year old. But the college has to have some way of proving that you have been actually living in New York State for at least a year. Because in the United States, if you haven't lived in a state for a year, usually you have to pay more. You're considered a non-resident, and you can see on the screen that the non-resident students pay a lot more than the resident students. So we want to make sure that you understand that if you have not been here for a year and you still want to come, it's going to cost a lot more. We'll talk a little bit about financial aid in a minute, but it's important to remember those things. If you haven't yet been in New York State for a year, you really probably want to wait until you've been living here, because it's going to be a lot easier and a lot less expensive for you to do that. And of course, the longer you stay at Oasis, the better your English will be. So that's, you can test again and maybe score at a higher level. Financial aid is available to students both from the US government, the national government, and New York State government. The federal application is called the FAFSA. Some of you know that name already, FAFSA. Free application for federal student aid is what that means. And that's the US application for financial aid. And TAP, the Tuition Assistance Program, TAP, is the New York State application for applying for financial aid. Students should be able to qualify for both of those. New York State does require, like MCC, proof of having lived here for a year in order to qualify for the New York State aid. But the federal doesn't care about residency, so you don't have to have lived here for a year to be eligible for the federal application or federal financial aid. Again, the Geis office, and Beth will be part of this too. Beth can introduce you and set up a time for you to meet with a counselor at the college in the Geis office who can help you apply to financial aid. The financial aid application is a lot more difficult than the MCC application. So we really want to walk with students through that application and help you complete that application successfully. So it's really important that you get the help of an advisor at MCC, a counselor who knows how particularly ESL students have to fill out certain questions in certain ways. And Miss Pam is aware of that, and Miss Carly, the other counselor who might be helping you, will be aware of that too, so that they can help you avoid some problems in that form. So that one, you want to make sure you get some help from the Geis office, and the earlier you apply, the better. Once we see that you're eligible to study at MCC, then we'll be glad to help you apply for financial aid. If you get financial aid, it will be good for 2 full semesters, 1 full year. For example, right now, students are applying for next fall, but that aid will also cover the spring semester too. So it'll cover 2 semesters. I guess the next slide, Pam.
Okay. Oh,
Okay, this is Pamela's expertise, and she's going to talk about the ESL program. What's it going to be like to study English at MCC?
okay. I will keep this pretty short. I did want to just say hello. I'm one of the full-time faculty members in the ESL program. So if you do come to MCC, you probably will see me and possibly be in my class. And the other full-time person is Katie Leachy. So we are good contact people for any questions about our courses. The ESL program has 3 different levels. So depending on where you score on the placement test, that'll determine which level of our program you would enter. And we have a change starting this year for our entry level. We have a program that's funded by a grant, and you're not earning college credit yet. It's a 15-hour-a-week course in language. It's really going to provide a strong foundation, and it's actually called Strong Foundations. So this is something very new. After you take the placement test, we can talk more about this with you, but this is an on-campus course. It meets 5 days a week from 9 to noon during the 15 weeks of the semester. And there's a $75 cost, but there's no need for financial aid. This is a way for students to come in, get more language support, more language practice, but not have to use financial aid yet. So this is replacing our entry-level courses. And this started, our first semester was this spring. And then our next level, we have 2 courses that students often take together. And we're working on more academic skills like summary writing. We read some nonfiction memoirs, we respond to them, but it's really introducing you to the academic reading and writing skills you'll need in college. And then our final level is called ESL 201. And the focus is working on writing academic essays. And after students complete this course, they are ready to take English 101, which is the first year composition course. So again, it depends on where you place, but we prepare our students really, really well to be successful in English 101 and all of your courses with writing and reading. And you get lots of opportunities to practice your speaking and listening skills as well. In the fall, we have quite a few of our courses will be back on campus, and we're thrilled to be able to have students come back. It's been a very challenging year teaching through Zoom. So when it's time to register, if that's something that you want to do, come to campus. We'll help you with that. And then we will have at our mid and high levels, we'll also have a remote option where you can attend class through Zoom. So again, once you're accepted, you know which level you're in, then we can help you make those decisions. As far as we're concerned as teachers, if we can have you face-to-face, that's the best way. So I'm happy to see that you're in class at Oasis. So I think that's it for me, really quickly in terms of our courses.
One thing, could you go back to the other slide, Pamela? One thing I was talking with Hannah about at the beginning before we started was that in the fall, it is very possible that MCC will require that students have been vaccinated if they want to be on campus. That's going to be a State University of New York policy if the vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, is approved for college-age students in an official way. And I want to let some of you know that if you wanted to study MCC, but you don't want to be on campus, you could choose one of these other methods of learning. You see, not traditional, which is going to be face-to-face on campus, but the remote method, which is basically a Zoom class that you do have to meet at certain times online, but it's with Zoom, and I'm sure all of you know what Zoom is. Hybrid courses, well, that would be partly on campus or online courses. So there are some choices for students who either cannot or do not want to receive the vaccine, but I do want to let you know that if you are able to come in the fall, if you do score high enough on the English test, you will probably have to be vaccinated to take courses on campus. Also, Pam, I don't know that they are only seeing you here as an ESL teacher, and you mentioned Katie, but I want the students at Oasis to know that MCC has a very large ESL program, so we have many part-time teachers, and I don't know exactly how many we have, Pamela, but usually active what we have 4 or 5 at least every semester.
And when
part-time
we're, yeah,
teachers?
well, when we're at full enrollment, we have about 15. And we've got, but
Yes.
so right now, because things have been a little bit slower, we've had about 6 or 7 part-time instructors, and we are fortunate to have great teachers, really great teachers in our
Yes.
program.
Yep. They're all very, very popular people and very good teachers, like Jeannie Buckman. So just wanted to say that about the options for the fall. So, yeah.
And our ESL classes will be either traditional, face-to-face or remote. And there's one class that'll be online, but for us, it's going to be one or the other of coming to campus or doing a Zoom class.
Good. Thanks, Pam.
Okay,
I guess we can go on maybe.
yeah, so.
Okay. Now we want to hear from the students because we know that many of you had questions that we perhaps did not answer. And so we want to make sure that we try to answer as many questions as we can before we have to say goodbye. So how do you want to handle this, Hannah, in terms of Gina, in terms of questions?
People can either speak up and talk directly, or they can do it in the chat because certain classrooms have different capabilities with their computers and microphones.
I have a question.
Sure, Queen.
For people that who have a high school diploma and they live in a country that they cannot obtain it because of the war zone. So when they come to MCC, they cannot show you they have a diploma. What those people have to do?
Okay, thanks for bringing that up. There is an option for students who come from countries where either warfare or crisis of some kind forced them to leave very quickly, and they were not able to get documents from the government or had to leave all their papers behind. There is an option for those students, and Pamela and Carly, the other counselor, have worked with me and are aware of the steps they need to take to have that taken care of. It's basically writing a letter to explain to MCC your situation, why you don't have a document. Also, usually we have to at least send an email to the Ministry of Education. We know that you never will hear from them probably, but we need to show that you made an attempt. You tried to contact the Ministry of Education. And then also, you have to show a green card or an I-94 card that indicates you came as a refugee. And that's indicated on your green card usually, or your I-94 card. So this policy is only going to work for refugees from countries where there has been warfare or it's been impossible for them for other reasons to not have a high school document. So I think that answers your question, Quinn.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sure.
I have another one. I saw you have the English 101 on your ESO program. That program should be credit, right? You have to, on your ESO program, right?
Yeah, yes, our ESL program courses are credit bearing. Yes.
So if the English 101 will that be transferred to the general English 101, like the college writing?
Yes, so after students finish our highest ESL level, ESL 201, then they can take English 101 the following semester.
Okay.
Which is taught, Quinn, by mostly English department faculty, although Pamela also teaches sections of that too. But
Oh, that's great. That's good.
yes.
Thank you.
And after teaching English 101 this semester, our ESL students that come through our program, they were some of the strongest writers I had. So I'm happy to say you come through the ESL courses very well prepared for English 101.
Yeah, and I'm happy that instead of going to other instructor, you have the same, you are teaching at Pamela that take the free hour of everybody because they know you. Okay, and now you're just going on to an SO English 101, because when I talk to the student, they all scared of English 101 college writing course.
And we also know the English faculty who work really well with our students. So one of the things that we do is help you choose the right section with the right professors to help with that fear.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Any other questions from the classes?
You guys, the student said it was pretty clear, so we don't have any on my end.
I'm wondering, Gina, how many of your students know people or relatives who are at MCC now?
So I have a couple here, Baza and Ati. Your daughter?
Yes.
Their daughter knows you, I guess. Dilan, what's her last name?
Aziz.
Aziz. Dilan Aziz.
Aziz, she was before.
2 years ago. Dilan Aziz. Syrian.
Okay,
Mm,
yes.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
I have 2 students who are gonna go in August if all goes well. So,
good.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Great, wonderful.
I'm studying in I have
I should let you see the students. That would be.
I
So
love
that's
to see some of these people.
our superstar couple.
Aw,
Have I met some of you before?
Just your daughter. No, just their
my
daughter.
daughter, 2 sons studying now.
Oh.
Dilshan Aziz and Zana Aziz.
Okay, so the family name is Aziz.
Aziz.
Start in August.
Mhm. Oh, okay, okay. Yes, yes.
Mm.
Thank you, guys.
Okay,
So on the slides that we sent and the handouts, I think the global education, the office email and phone number, everything is on just about every slide. So that's a really
Mhm.
important number and email address to have for any questions.
I just
And
thought of
just to
and
remind,
Beth,
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. I wanted you to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to, one other thing I wanted to point out too is the earlier the better for starting this process, because as we get closer to the start of the semester, you'll find it may take a little longer to get replies just because of the volume of students that are reaching out to us. So everything goes more smoothly the earlier you start the process.
And we get really wild close to the end of August.
We do.
Yes,
And classes
classes
start
will begin.
August. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, no,
Classes-
go ahead.
Classes start August 26th. So I would say early August at the latest would be the best time to make sure everything's in. Your financial aid applications are in, because that takes time as well.
I have a quick question then. So would you encourage students to apply now and then see how long it takes and then potentially take their ESL placement test later on? Or is that not suggested just because it will take a little bit longer?
I think that's fine. To apply now, the test is going to be the important decision maker. But if you want to apply now first, that's fine. And then you can do that with someone who, one of the counselors in the office who can help you. If your test score is too low, but you've already applied, we can have you take the test more than once, but you do have to have a certain score in English to be able to come to MCC. But as Pam was talking about the first level, strong foundations, with that level now, it does make it possible for a lot of students who might not have been acceptable in previous semesters to come to MCC and take that first level strong foundations course. So, and we're going to have 2 of those classes, I think, in the
Right.
fall, right?
2
Pam? Yeah.
sections.
So it's going to be, yeah, it's fine to do the application first, but again, set that appointment up with Beth and she can easily take care of that. And yeah.
Perfect. And just a reminder to all the classrooms that we do have volunteers here on Monday and Thursday who can assist everyone with applying and reaching out and anything in regards to going to MCC.
Mhm, mhm.
Don, did you want to say anything about college degrees and college transcripts?
I was thinking about that, and that didn't come up. Some of you have already completed not only high school, but college in your native country. And that's wonderful because you'll be better prepared to be a college student at MCC if you have done college in your native country. But one of the challenges with having finished a bachelor's degree, for example, in your native country, is that financial aid has a lot of restrictions around that. And if you do have a full bachelor's degree and it's been evaluated like that, it might prohibit or not allow you to get financial aid from the federal government. So we really want to be careful about that. So before you send any kind of college transcript to MCC, check with us first. Some of your degrees are not exactly equivalent to an American bachelor's degree, and those are okay, but it's some of you have degrees that have been translated and evaluated and say bachelor's degree on the diploma, which is going to be a problem with financial aid. Some of you, I think, might have been hoping you could get credit for those courses. It is possible in certain cases, but we have to be careful again because of the financial aid. And we don't want you to send in something that is going to cause you to lose your financial aid from the federal government for your whole time at MCC. So we really want to avoid that. But we can, it's kind of a case by case basis, I would say. But thanks, Pam, for bringing that up. Yeah.
Any other questions before we end? Gina's class said, thank you all.
Yeah, sure. And also, Hannah, you're aware, and you can show the students and Gina also, a range of programs that MCC has. I mean, it's a wide range of programs. And it's not just the Brighton campus. We have a downtown campus and the applied technology. Many of our students do very well in those programs, things like car repair and heating, ventilating, air conditioning, and precision tooling and machining. And there are going to be more and more of those kinds of careers. Also, those of you who have done health careers, maybe you have studied nursing, or some of you might have even been doctors. You might not be able to do those things in this country with your degree, but there are lots of other health professions. And Pamela's been working with the health department here, the programs, and they're developing some nice new certificates that would help students get a first step, a job with working with health agencies, with community clinics, with neighborhood health centers, especially if you speak another language, which most of you, of course, do. That's going to be very helpful. So we can help you or give you ideas, and Pam is very knowledgeable about all the programs at MCC. She can help you choose a program that has a lot of variety of what you can do with that degree and a lot of options for not necessarily having a degree from MCC, but having a certificate that might be able to give you a job. So there are a lot of options at MCC.
I have a question.
Sure, Queen.
Yeah, those course, the certificate course, would they be able to apply for financial aid for that?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And the only certificate type courses that don't are through workforce development. So for example, we have the Certified Nursing Assistant program through Workforce, that it's not a financial aid eligible program, but they have a lot of grant money available to help students pay for those. And those are shorter, like CNA is about a 5.5 week program, full time. You take the CNA exam and you're qualified to go to work. So for some students, that's a great first step.
So Pamela, where do I get that? What kind of course under the workforce development?
I can send you a link to, their material.
Okay,
And so we're starting to work on a partnership with the health, the CNA and the home health aid people to provide some language support as well, because some of those exams are difficult because of the English, even if the students have the clinical skills. So we're trying to see how we can help facilitate that a little bit more. So I'll send you that.
thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Well, if there aren't any more questions, I just want to say thank you all for presenting. It was very informative, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of questions after the fact, but like you all said, we can reach out. So thank you very much.
Yeah, please
Thank
send us any
you.
questions, Gina or Hannah, that students have, or Quinn Lu. Yes, that's fine.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you.
having us.
Good to see you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.